the first day, I think I made around $800 in sales, and I was just so happy, and it was just an adrenaline, like, okay, this is the beginning. And yeah, it was just the best feeling ever.
At Foundr, we're leading an educational revolution and training the entrepreneurs of tomorrow. In this series, we're talking to our own students to discover how they're building the businesses of their dreams. These are real, everyday people who have made it happen. Now, before we jump in, our lawyers have told us to tell you this. Of course, we can't guarantee you'll have the results like some of our stories we're about to share in this show. And as you know, with any business, it's a lot of hard work in addition to completing any online course. And with that said, welcome to From Zero to Foundr. Hey everyone, Molly here. I'm the community manager for Foundr magazine, and welcome to the series From Zero to Foundr. Today we're sitting down with one of our Start and Scale students, Drina and talking about her business, Crowware. She started her business in February 2020, just before COVID, and on her first day of launch generated $800. In a matter of a month or two, then scaled that to $4,500. I'm really excited to sit down and talk to her today, so let's just get into it. Hi Drina, thank you so much for joining me today and speaking with me about your journey. I guess to begin, why not start by introducing yourself, where you're from, and a little bit about your business?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Drina and I'm based in Toronto, Canada. So I have a women's clothing line and we specialize in Croatian inspired athleisure. So my background and heritage is Croatian, so I thought I'd make a clothing line that's really dedicated to that culture and, share it with everybody. So there's a wide range of products from like leggings, gym tops, socks, scrunchies, and I'm just kind of, it's been a year. So I'm just in the beginning stages of growing my business, and yeah, I'm really excited for what's to come.
I'm very excited for you too, and hearing all about your journey prior to this call, I'm very excited to delve more into that. But I guess before we do get into your business, why not tell me a little bit about where you were prior to even launching your business? Where were you in life?
Prior to having the idea, I actually had a 9-to-5 job. So I was in sales for a technology firm, and I quit my job. I decided to start my own business, and I had a bunch of ideas, and that idea came to me right when I quit my job, actually. So I kind of acted on the idea about 6 or 7 months later, where, I started getting the samples, bringing that vision to life. And then I actually, before launching, I joined Start and Scale just to help me, get my things together and have a successful launch.
Amazing. And I guess coming from a 9-to-5 job, that could be a little bit daunting to just drop it and start your own business. What do you think really motivated you to just kind of take that leap?
I just kind of was feeling really stuck, and it was really, I had 2 other businesses at that time, so I wasn't really new to the entrepreneur space. I was in entrepreneurship for about 2 years at that time, but it wasn't working out for me, and I felt like I was dedicating too much time into a full-time job. And I was in sales, so I was, earning sales for somebody else. And then on the side, on the weekends and after work, I would be working on my business. So it was just too overwhelming for me. So I decided, I have to choose what I want in life. And, why give somebody else 40 hours of my time earning them sales when I can just do that for myself? So that's kind of how it happened. But I just decided, I'm going to go for it. And I kind of just made that decision. Like sometimes you just have to believe in yourself. And I said, I'm going to make it work, whatever it is. It's just the 9-to-5 is just not for me. And I just kind of made that decision that I was just going to do whatever it takes.
And I'm sure also a lot of people listening might be in that similar sort of situation where they're stuck between a side hustle or even another business, and then also trying to juggle their full-time job, which can be hard for anyone. So I guess when you decided to stop and quit your 9-to-5 job, did you still have those 2 other businesses, or were you solely just focused on a new venture?
Yeah, so at that time, I actually had a network marketing business that I was doing for about 2 years. And then I had another fashion business idea, but that fell through, I think 2 months later. But that kind of idea brought me to Crowware. So yeah, so I had those 2 businesses, and I didn't have like a safety net. I wouldn't say financially it was like the best idea to quit my job, but For me, it was just a gut feeling that I needed to do. And I just felt like I was just kind of wasting time. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go all in and see if it works out with these other businesses. And then the idea for Crowware just happened.
And I guess that kind of brings me to my next question. How did you actually find Foundr and Greta's course Start and Scale?
I knew about it for probably a year, honestly. Like I knew about it and I was really intrigued following her story and her brands and all that, but I didn't act on it for a while. So it was something I was contemplating for a while because it wasn't a big investment for me. So after doing a lot of research and, getting to that point where I had my business idea, I had the samples, then I was on the brink of launching. And that's when I kind of decided, okay, you know what, I'm going to invest into this course because I need help launching it.
What do you think stood out most about the course in particular to you? Was it the fact that it was a step-by-step and you kind of saying that you wanted something to help you launch, or was it something else?
Definitely Greta's credibility. So the fact that she was in her early 20s and she launched her first, $1 million business, that was really inspiring to me and relatable because, she was working a 9-to-5 job as well. So I could have launched on my own, but there's just a plethora of information on the internet. There's just so many resources, and it's too overwhelming for me. And I just kind of wanted that step-by-step, like hand holding in a way, just to like get me through it and just have someone that I trusted with my brand that has proven its success. And I've seen testimonials of other people that are like-minded. So I thought, you know what, this is the best thing I can do for my brand. If I want to take it seriously and not do a mediocre launch, like I wanted to take it seriously. So that's kind of what made me join and, go through that process. So it was definitely worth it and saved me so many hours of research and, insecurity of like, oh, is this wrong or is this right? And all that kind of stuff. And having that community of people on Facebook too. So
amazing. And I guess, how did you actually use Greta's methods to achieve success?
I mean, that's a big question. There's so many things I used. I would say, since I already had my product idea and everything like that, I would say the last few weeks of the course really helped me in terms of building out the website, making sure I had an audience to market to. So that was my biggest concern. It was like, if I launch this, like, is anyone going to buy it on day one of like opening? So I wanted to launch to an audience. So I really used her techniques in like building that audience on Instagram, building a wait list, having email subscribers there to launch to. So like, when I launch it, there's going to be people waiting for the product. So that really helped me as well. And, the influencer strategies and finding the right influencers, I would say those were really big things that helped me for sure get sales in the first week.
Amazing. And you mentioned how you kind of already had your idea formulated, and you also did mention that your business itself goes back to your Croatian heritage. Do you want to talk me through more about why you really wanted to sync those two ideas together?
So the idea came out of, I guess, a problem because I, every 2 years, I go watch the soccer games, the World Cup or Euro Cup, and, Croatia does pretty well for the most part. And especially in 2018 being, second place. And I just never, had really options of things to wear. Like I didn't really like the options I had. Like it was either the big baggy jerseys or some of the quality of a lot of the shirts or tank tops weren't the best. So like, okay, I'm just gonna make something my own. And my mom would sew things together for me. So I kind of had that idea of like designing my own line and have it like, you can actually work out in these leggings, but you can also wear it to a fan event or a sporting event. So that's kind of how it came to be. And I believe it was successful because a lot of women agreed with me that they didn't have many options and they really loved the design. It looked nice and it was comfortable and it was high quality. So there was definitely like a space in this really niche market.
Which I think it's great because you are solving a problem, and if there are many people like you that are going to invest in that, then why not? And I think it's really interesting that you've expanded your product range as well, which is something we'll talk about a little bit later on. But tell me How did you go through the design process and manufacturing process?
I pretty much designed it. I'm a very creative person, so I kind of just thought about it in my head. I'm not actually, I have no background in fashion. I went to a business school, so I definitely was not drawing these designs. I kind of was like cutting and pasting stuff from the internet and like putting checkers on it and things like that, and then sending it to a few manufacturers. And I got pretty lucky, to be honest. From the first I sent it to one manufacturer. I got one sample. I loved it. So I chose to work with her. So it was pretty easy just to get the ball rolling, I guess. So I just kind of sent her my photos and then they created a sample and I made a few changes. So I think I went through 2 or 3 samples until I got the final one and then placed that bulk order. And yeah, just started with one product.
Amazing. That's so exciting. And I love that, you kind of didn't have that background, but you kind of made it work, which I think a lot of other people might be like, oh, I don't have a design background or I don't have this or that. And I think fake it till you make it. And it looks like you've done a great job at that, putting pieces together to actually establish a real sample to give to a manufacturer.
Yeah, honestly, I would say like once you have that vision of what you really want, like it will just come to life. And the best feeling was just getting that sample and like trying it on. And it was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted. And again, like don't get discouraged if you order a sample and it doesn't come out right. Just try again, choose somebody else and go through that process again.
Amazing. And I guess from obtaining that sample, what were kind of the next steps to help you launch? Like from there, did you kind of think, okay, I need a website, or were you more focused on other marketing channels to help like with launch?
So I guess the next step was getting really good photos. So doing a photo shoot, getting my friends to help me, getting really good pictures, and then building that website and then building that Instagram page. So those are the 2 things, was just like building that audience and getting some feedback from other people like, hey, do you like this? What do you think of it? What do you think of the color? So that was kind of the process prior to launch, would just be building that brand awareness. Like don't just launch the product, like build some hype, build some excitement around it. Like what is your product? Why is it different? Why is it interesting? Why should people buy it? So for me, I used 4 weeks to do that. The link that I had was just like get on the wait list. So it's very simple. So just make it simple for your audience. Like have a good call to action, like sign up and be the first to get this new product that you've never seen before. So I would say really get to know who your audience is and be really specific. Because for a new brand starting out, it's really difficult to compete with the big guys. So you have to really hone in on your audience and like, who are you targeting and like why are you different and why should people trust you? So I would say start with a smaller audience and then grow from there.
I think that's really great advice, and I think creating that hype is something really, really exciting, especially like on your product, because it is so unique and it is so different to what other people are releasing. And how did you feel when you had that first sale actually come through?
Oh, I was so excited because I remember I launched. And, I had a good feeling because I had a lot of inquiries. So I'm like, okay, my wait list is pretty good. Like there's something's going to happen. But the first hour I was like, okay, nothing's working. Like, is my Shopify set up right? Or is the shipping, like, is everything going smoothly? And then, I got my first sale. And then I was so excited. Like I got that email, like your first sale. And I was just so happy. And it was just an adrenaline, like, okay, this is the beginning. And it was just the best feeling ever, just to see someone sees value in what you've worked so hard for.
I think that's incredible. And I have to admit, I can't even imagine the feeling of seeing that first sale actually come through. But how did you perform on your first day? Like, were you expecting, or did you have a goal of what you hope to kind of achieve in terms of revenue for that first day? Or were you quite open to, just seeing what happens?
More of the latter. Like I was just open to seeing what happens. I was like, hey, maybe I'm not going to get any sales. Maybe I'm going to sell out. I have no idea. So I kind of was just open to it. So the first day, I think I made around $800 in sales, which was pretty good. I was pretty happy with that. So I think that was, around my expectation, and, I knew more was to come. So yeah, I was really happy with the result, but I didn't have this desperate energy like, oh, I need the sales. Like I just kind of had that confidence, like, okay, it's going to work out and we're going to see what happens.
I think that's great, great advice. And how have you managed to scale since then? You said it's been a year. How have you been performing since your first month last February?
Things have been doing good. So with retail and e-commerce, like there's always ups and downs. Like not every month is going to be consistent, and you have like Black Friday was really good, and then you have Boxing Day, so you have these periods. But yeah, everything is moving in the right direction, and I'm really excited for this year to come, as things slowly get back to normal and everything like that. And obviously adding new SKUs to the clothing line is great, and just hearing customer feedback and all that.
Amazing. And you mentioned just then something really important about Boxing Day and Black Friday. They were so, I guess, detrimental to some businesses last year. How did you go around marketing towards them? Did you think of doing any sales or anything to help boost, how many customers were on your site or anything like that?
So yeah, for sure. So Black Friday, it's interesting to know because Black Friday seems to be a lot bigger than Boxing Day. Like there's been a shift. So people want to, buy their gifts before Christmas and on sale. So I definitely used a lot of marketing there with email marketing, Instagram, and Facebook. And just my selling point was basically, this is going to be the biggest sale ever. Like we never discount our products this much. So everything in the store was 25% off. And that was the selling point for Black Friday, was like, you know what, this is the cheapest it's ever going to get. So get in on this now. And the results were really good. The only thing I would have changed was I would have done the Black Friday sale earlier. So a lot of big brands were starting it on Wednesday or Thursday, whereas I just did it on Friday. So that's another tip I would change for the future, is like I would just start earlier, because everyone else is starting earlier, so you want to get to the customers first.
Yeah, no, that's actually really great advice. And I think actually taking leverage of those important days, Boxing Day, Black Friday, and things like that, can really help small businesses and startups in particular. But I guess around those sort of events, or even just in general, have you ever tried different techniques of marketing, like influencer marketing?
Yeah, I've touched a little bit on influencer marketing. I'm doing a lot of product for posts. So, gifting micro influencers the products, and then they'll post it, so then I can use their content for, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and just for my own Instagram feed. So that has been really good, and just finding the relevant Instagram pages to feature my products. And you would see little spikes in followers and things like that.
Amazing. And you did actually mention how, you had to find like your fit, I guess, in the influencer world. Did you kind of reach out, or was your game plan originally to focus on a particular niche like sports, or was it more those who you saw could or would represent, crowwear?
Yeah, so more of the girls that would represent crowwear. So they have a Croatian background, or they like to, support the country during these tournaments and things like that. So I'd kind of find who's influential in that space, whether they, live in Croatia or they live in, North America. And I would find accounts that actually have like fan accounts for, just like everything Croatian. So I would just send them my photos, and then they can post it. So I'm in such a niche market, so it's not too hard to find the right kinds of people, I guess.
Incredible. And, obviously part of the course with Greta is she does talk about influencer marketing quite a lot. Did you find that those lessons really helped you get started in this space?
Yeah, so I realized how powerful it was, and just going through it like very tactical, I would say. So I liked how she, separated it into goals. Like, do you want revenue? Do you want followers? what's your goal behind it? Like, you're not just like sending people product and you're like, okay, I hope they post it. Or it's very structured, and you kind of have a game plan. Like, okay, what do I want to achieve? How am I going to measure the results and things like that? So that definitely helped me get more of a sense on how I can use this and to, boost my brand and whatnot.
That's very interesting. And I guess talking about boosting your brand, you did also say that your first product was leggings. What then happened? Did you decide that you wanted to do tops, or was it more or less a demand from your audience and what you kind of wanted to create next?
So I always had ideas on what I wanted to have in my collection, but I just wanted to focus on one product at launching. So it was the leggings. And then I had a matching top, and people were seeing kind of sneak peek photos. So they were already interested in that. And, I already received some demand for it. So that naturally came next. And then I had matching socks, and then a bracelet, and then scrunchies. So it all kind of worked together. So I would say they're like add-ons, right? So if you have a clothing line, it's something that's really simple to do, is just like add some accessories to add to cart and things like that. So that kind of naturally came to be. And then just like receiving new samples, new inspiration, and new ideas from other people.
No, I think that's incredible, especially because, that hand in hand with, any gifting, or I guess with your Instagram in particular, that would kind of help you harness user generated content or influencer content. Do you, I guess, is part of your social strategy repurposing those photos that, you get from your customers if there's such high value on their input into creating your pieces?
Yeah, of course. I love reusing their content. And people love just seeing, different models like wearing the product, people that they can relate to, and also the reviews and things like that. So you get an extra discount if you post a photo of yourself and write your honest review. So that's always nice to see.
And using those, how you mentioned, discounting people who might post your products and things like that, how have you seen that as a return? Has that been working well for you?
Yeah, for sure. So after they purchase the product, they'll get an email to review, and then they'll get a discount for their next purchase. So yeah, it's been working. It's good for social proof. So when people go to the website, they want to see, okay, like, is it good quality? Let's see what people are writing about, or like, let's see what other people look like in the leggings. Like, does it look good? Let's see. So I find that it's really beneficial.
I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with your user experience and your branding. In terms of other collections, have you been working on anything else that's going to really help boost Crowwear?
Yeah, for sure. I have a few new ideas for spring that I'm excited to launch, and I'm already thinking like end of the summer and fall. So that's kind of in the works as well. So yeah, I think this year is going to be really good, and I'm really excited to just expand.
And I guess bringing things back, how would you say, in terms of, I guess, a year's worth of growth, how are you performing now, and how is Crowwear actually doing?
We're doing pretty good. Like, it's pretty steady. I mean, I can't say it's been, exponential, like, just because I don't want to blame the climate of the pandemic and everything like that. But no, it's on track. It's increasing and everything like that. So I would say since launching, it's been pretty steady. But I kind of know what I need to do to get to the next level now.
And I guess that would be the most exciting part, actually putting those pieces together and knowing, okay, in order to succeed, I guess, in a new year, how you're going to actually implement those steps. I guess, what tactics are you focusing on most when you say that you know these pieces? Is it marketing? Is it design?
So I would say number one is always going to come down to the product. So the quality of the product, the look and feel, the style. So if your product's not very good, like, it's going to be really hard to market. So you want to have those raving fans, those customers that are going to post your products and like wear them and refer them to their friends and family. So that's number one, which I'm really confident with the products. And then the second would obviously be brand awareness. So just reaching more people. So new strategies is just reaching those high profile influencers, doing those Facebook ads, just growing the Instagram account.
Amazing. And you mentioned Facebook ads then. How long have you been kind of delving into Facebook ads to help scale your business?
So Facebook ads I've been doing since May of last year. So I would say about 10 months now. But now I've increased the budget for it. So, and I've gotten some help from a consultant. So yeah, it's definitely been helpful just reaching more people that maybe haven't seen our brand online.
And do you find that the most successful ads that you've been producing are using your influencer content or the photos you're taking yourself or even from customers?
I find that it's a mix, but the ones that do well are the ones that are natural. Like you think like the ones that you've spent so much money doing, like the high-end photo shoots, but it's just like taking a selfie, like just the simple ones, the ones that are relatable, because when people are scrolling through their phones, they don't want to be sold to. So if it's too salesy, people are put off by it. So it kind of has to come off a little bit more natural. But yeah, you got to play around with different photos and see what works.
Amazing. Because I know a lot of people listening, you know, Facebook ads can seem daunting, but like you mentioned, you can get help, which is really great. And you can just be plain and simple and have your user experience showing through your ads, which I think is great what you actually have been doing. And I guess working towards wrapping things up, how has your life changed since you implemented what you've learned from the Start and Scale course and finished the course in particular?
So after just completing the course, I just became a lot more confident with my brand and, seeing it long term and, this is something that's going to last. So that just really helped me, and I just became a lot more structured in my business, and just having all the tools available for me, and just having that community also on Facebook that I can lean on and like ask any questions that I need. I don't think my business would be where it is today without all that help. So definitely thankful for that. And just, it's nice to be around other people who are on the same journey as you, because, when you're starting a business, you need to have a really good mindset and you have to stay positive. So seeing that other people are achieving these big goals and like maybe they're a few steps ahead of you, you're like, okay, well, if they can do it, I can do it too.
I agree completely, and that has been a running theme. And I think having that support that people understand exactly what you're going through is definitely something that's a big motivator. And lastly, I know a lot of people listening will really appreciate this coming from someone who has launched, has, overcome quite big obstacles with the current climate. What would you give as your one piece of advice if someone was listening to this and they wanted to start their own e-commerce store?
I would say just go for it. Like, don't think too much about it. Don't listen to the negative voices. Just start as soon as you can and just solve a problem. Like, don't overcomplicate it. Just figure out what problem you want to solve and be passionate about your product, because if it's like you're going to do this because you're serious about it, like this isn't just for fun, like you actually want this to last 10, 20 years, your whole life. So have fun with it and just pick something that you really enjoy doing and have that vision of what you really want and just stick to that belief, and you're going to get there. At the end of the day, you just have to keep putting in the work and just little steps each day. So don't overwhelm yourself. Just take it one step at a time. Just get to the next step and just have your list, and just every day a little bit of work every day. And a year later, you're going to be surprised at how much you've accomplished.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think having that mentality of step by step and not rushing it and thinking it's a sprint, it's more or less a marathon, is really great advice. So I really want to thank you, Drina, for sitting down and talking to me today and sharing all of your wisdom and advice on what you've learnt since you've launched Crowware. And yeah, thank you so much.
Of course, anytime. Thank you.
Hey guys, we hope you're loving From Zero to Founder and you're getting a ton of value from it. If you want access to the exact free training that led today's founder to where they are now, head to foundr.com/ecommerce training or follow the link in the show notes.